Teachers are quitting mid-year again, at record numbers. Here's one of the reasons why. A student who wasn't assigned to me or my classroom was let into my room by another adult, a teacher's aide, and repeatedly ignored my direction and instructions to leave. Eventually, she repeatedly called me and threatened me with physical violence, which sent me into a panic attack. I called the office for support, and as soon as the dean of students showed up to my classroom, I left and I went to the stairwell to go cry and have a panic attack. Once I calmed down, which took my entire lunch, I was expected to go back and teach my classes because we had a sub shortage and nobody could cover my classes for the rest of the day. By the end of the day, the videos that the student took of me circulated amongst the student body, and I ended that day sitting at my desk feeling the most powerless and defeated that I've ever felt in my entire life. The student was not given a consequence that was fitting. She was sent home for the day. That was it. I received no apology, no restorative circle from the student or the adult who let them into my classroom, and the paraprofessional received no disciplinary actions. He stood in my classroom and allowed his student to speak to me in a degrading, violent, and disrespectful manner. After that class period was over, I had several students come up to me and say that they wanted to jump to my defense, but they were also afraid of that student and afraid of for their own safety. That's when I knew the profession I once loved was no longer the profession I needed or wanted, and I left a month later. And that story is not unique. Teachers aren't leaving because they don't care about the kids. They're leaving because the system no longer lets them teach kids. They're not allowed to teach self-management. They're not allowed to teach respect or accountability anymore. We are told to keep the peace, keep the bodies in the room. Some are even told to pass at 20%. Just get the kid the diploma. Pass them along so that the data looks good. But when we do that, we're not protecting the students. We're doing them a disservice because they are walking into a world that will hold them accountable. We could have taught them how to handle that with grace, empathy, and reflection. But instead, we're told to look the other way. Teachers quitting mid-year every single year is not an exodus. It's self-preservation. And deep down, it's heartbreak because they want to stay. The system is just making it so that staying is at the expense of yourself and your own family.
Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. It is your favorite star girl Sharon Rose, and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about why teachers are quitting the teaching profession, why teachers have had enough. It's like literally right now teachers are quitting, they've had enough. And I feel this needs to be talked about, y'all, because teachers be having enough, and it's not like they literally don't care. Of course they really care, but then it's like they have had enough, they're not being treated right. And it's like parents being doing whatever they want, and it's like the parents are not helping matters, the kids are not helping, admin's not helping, and it's like the teachers being blamed for everything, y'all. And it's literally becoming crazy. It's literally getting crazy. It's not a me problem, it's not a you problem, it is a systematic problem. And it's like it's really getting crazy, y'all. And at the end of the day, I even read someone on TikTok where someone was saying that, they literally don't know. I think it was a teacher saying that they don't know who is raising these kids, and they literally don't know if the kids are actually raising themselves, because it's like some of these kids are being super disrespectful. They're so disrespectful. The parents are being super disrespectful, and at the end of the day, the teacher is being blamed for everything. And it's literally really crazy.
There's a reason teachers are leaving the classroom, and no, it's not just the money. At the school where my wife taught, one kindergarten class went through 4 different teachers in 1 year because of one kid who continually harassed, assaulted other students and the teacher. Yes, this was a 4-year-old kid. His parents were called into conference, and it was the same old thing. Oh, we don't know why he does this. He doesn't do it at home. Y'all must be the problem. Yeah, that crap. His parents refused to address the situation, and district administration refused to take him out of the class and put him into an alternative setting. It was the same old, oh, we can't deny one child an education. No, we can't do that. But at the same time, the rest of the other kids were getting their education denied by this little terror. And so sure enough, That class went through 4 different teachers in 1 year. Let me ask you something. You think it's good for a kindergarten class to go through 4 different teachers in 1 year? Leave a comment in the comments section. It amazes me how one child is left to destroy the education of the other students. And we sit here and scratch our heads and wonder why teachers are leaving in droves.
I used to be a high school teacher. Here's the single biggest reason why I decided that I couldn't be a teacher anymore. There is no accountability in schools. There's no accountability for students. There's no accountability for teachers. And there's no accountability for parents. Students can pretty much do whatever they want. They got the freedom to be late to class every single day. They can roam around the hallways every single day and not go to class. They cannot do their assignments. They can be disruptive. And there's no repercussions. There's no accountability. And the worst part is it's not really even the student's fault. You can't really blame them because the system is not holding them accountable. Now, there are some schools that have great administration and they're trying super hard and they're doing many things to improve the system and to make it better. But most schools, there's no accountability going on. I think you would be shocked if you were to go into school and see what was happening. And if you try to talk to parents, there's a very select few that actually help with it. But the vast majority, they either don't know what to do or they're just completely helpless and they enable it. And there's so many bad teachers that shouldn't be teaching, but there's nobody that's holding them accountable or doing anything about it. And this is coming from a teacher that had great classroom management. Yes, I had some disruptive kids that were hard to keep them focused, and that's normal. But the vast majority of the issues that I experienced was because there's no accountability. There's nothing you can do. You can try to hold students accountable, and they're shocked by it because they're not used to it. That's just one of the reasons why I left. If you have any other questions or want to know anything else, please let me know, and I'm happy to answer.
iPad kid pandemic is literally getting out of hand, y'all, because it's like everybody and the mommy and the daddy and your papa and your uncle and your auntie and your granddad be buying iPad for their kids, for their kids, for their grandkids. And literally some of those kids can't write, they can't read, and I even saw this story on TikTok where a teacher was saying that he realized that the students can't read, so because of that he had to buy storybooks for the kids, with his own money. That's how far the teacher went in order to help those kids. And you could see that teacher really has a good heart. At the end of the day, teachers be going out of their way just to make these kids be able to read or write. And it's like some of the parents are not even seeing it for the teachers. It's like the teacher is being blamed for everything. Literally, it's like everything is the teacher's fault. If the child is being disrespectful, they be saying it's the teacher's fault. It's the teacher. It is their problem. Like, how is that the teacher's problem? How is that the teacher's problem? Because the child is your child. The child is your kid. You cannot blame everything on the teacher. It's like you tend to hear all the time, teachers are leaving the profession because they are literally tired, y'all. And it's like, at the end of the day, admit to is not.
I'm a former teacher, and here's the real reason why teachers are quitting and or not mentally well. I'm sure you're thinking parents and admin, and some even say the kids. And those are all part of it, but that's not the root. This is the root. The root is that teachers don't have control anymore. One of the big differences between a good teacher and a bad teacher is a good teacher has control of their classroom. Bad teacher, it's crazy, chaos. A good teacher feels like they have control, feels like they have everything going on, feels like everything's going well. But because of the current dynamics, there's a lot of teachers out there, great teachers who have been doing it for years, who now since COVID has slowly had their control stripped away by admin not allowing them to have free reign in their classroom, and parents that are no longer supportive and in most cases are combative to anything that they want to do. So the way I view it is teachers are in a straitjacket. Like, imagine a teacher in a classroom with a straitjacket on. It's like, can somebody get me that? No, not that. And when you feel that constant lack of control, the stress is outrageous. So these great, amazing teachers who literally have their hands tied behind their back are realizing that I don't have that control anymore like I used to. So these teachers are stressed out of their mind. But then comes step one. The only way to mentally do well in those situations is to lower expectations and accept it is what it is. And for real life, this is amazing advice. letting go of things you don't control, just letting things be the way that they are. But in the teaching setting, that means that Johnny is not going to improve like the Johnnies of the past did. It means that you know that they're not going to get the education and are not getting the education that you know that they should be getting, because there's too many other deterrents and distractions and things like admin holding you back and parents that complain that it becomes impossible. So now what does that result? The teacher standing in the front of the class with the straitjacket on and just being like, okay, they're moving around. All right, I'm just going to do my best with Susie right here, right now, and the rest of like it is what it is. And then just doing that every single day. You wonder why teachers are looking forward to the next break and can't wait until summer. It's because they get a chance to just go, oh, and not have that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then once a teacher gets to a certain level where they recognize, I'm lowering my expectations of my classroom. This is not okay. So I gotta leave. And all you hear is the deterrence like, oh, you're weak and you can't handle it anymore. Oh, you should leave. While internally you're like, how can I do this? How can I give up on them? How can I admit that this is just not working anymore? And ultimately, how can I choose myself and saying, I need to step away and leave those kids and just, hey, it's not good, but I can't do it. That's why if you hear a lot of former teachers, they'll say that the stress is so much less because it's not feeling that complete and utter lack of control. So the lesson here is twofold. Number one is it is a great thing to lower expectations in your daily life to limit stress. That means if you're a little bit late, you'll get there when you get there. There's no reason. It is what it is. It's okay. Oh, you ran out of time. You didn't get the groceries today. It's okay. We'll do it tomorrow. But the second part is, in education, what does that look like? That looks like the expectations of students before to now is down here. And how is it ever going to go back up? Give the teachers control back. And this is a really hard thing because I do think that parents should be involved in their education, but I think there's too many parents who are not good at that. And that's causing this issue that it makes it really impossible to find this balance between giving the teachers control and the parents not having the control over their own kids' education. But until this thing changes, until that changes, everything is just going to continue to get worse. Your veteran teachers are going to continue to quit and leave. And the new teachers that come in are just going to have lower expectations. And what is that going to look like in the future of America?
I just heard that another amazing teacher has left the teaching profession. Surprise, surprise. More and more teachers are leaving the profession. The reason will surprise you. It's not that teachers don't care. Teachers actually care too much for a system that doesn't care about them. There seems to be quite a disrespect and blame culture when it comes to teaching. Society in general undervalues our teachers. And then you get our parents who are treating our teachers as if it's a customer service complaints department. Teachers are facing constant criticism, not only by their parents and the learners. The curriculum is so outdated. It hasn't changed, yet the world is evolving. The system is the problem, not the teachers. And I'm so sad to hear that another amazing teacher has left.
This is why women are leaving teaching. I'm a secondary school teacher and I've put in a part-time request for 0.6, which is the equivalent of 3 days a week. And I would also like to step down from my head of department roles for religious studies and PSHE. School have agreed my part-time request, but they cannot accommodate it over the 3 days. It could stretch over the 5 days, which it most likely will do from the sounds of it. I will be utilised over 5 days for 3 days worth of pay. That means commuting to school 5 days a week, putting my children in childcare 5 days a week, because nurseries will only do half days or full days. You can't just bit and bob around. And they can't guarantee that my working pattern would stay the same come next academic year. And I wouldn't find out what would happen until the July when the timetables come out ready for the September, which gives me 1 month notice because it comes out end of July. gives me 1 month's notice to sort out nursery, which is literally impossible. If you know anything about trying to get kids into nurseries, you can't be changing things last minute like that. This is part of a much wider issue in education and inflexibility for working mothers. It's called the motherhood tax for a reason. We already are willing to sacrifice a huge chunk of our salary, 40% of my salary and my TLR I was willing to sacrifice to be able to look after my own children, which I should be able to do. But because I may have to stretch that out over 5 days, that means I'm then being penalised because I have to pay for fuel for 5 days, childcare for 5 days, all whilst taking home 60% of my salary without the TLR. There's this myth around teaching that it's great when you have children because you get the school holidays, but there is no flexibility within part-time, etc. And this is just a prime example of the inflexibility in education. But essentially, my options are to take that huge pay cut, to then have to pay out huge expenses, or resign. The education system would rather have experienced female teachers resign because they've got children and the education system doesn't meet their needs than have some element of flexibility given to you. That means they are losing experienced teachers. I trained when I was 21, I'm now nearly 30. I'm an experienced head of department, but I am contemplating leaving because schools aren't flexible. And this is a prime example of inequality. Very few male teachers are having this situation because they are not putting in part-time requests to be able to accommodate childcare and looking after children. It's such a wider issue, and I dread to think how many women have experienced this. And you think, oh, it won't happen to me, but it does. It happens to so many teachers and just women in the workplace in general. Now I'm having to choose between my children and my career, which I have worked so hard for. For an education system that is built off the backs of women sacrificing their own time, it is so flawed. I have spent countless evenings in my career doing things for school, doing for the kids, unpaid. I'm just really angry and frustrated at a system that is failing working mums.
If the parents come together to help the teachers, y'all, this is gonna go a long way because it's really gonna help raise responsible adults here. And these kids are literally gonna grow to become responsible adults. We can't literally leave everything to the teacher because it's like the teaching job has become like a glorified babysitter because it's like the teacher be doing everything and anything. And at the end of the day, parents are not taking accountability for their actions. Zero accountability on both sides, on both the kids and their parents. Some parents being super disrespectful to the teachers, be blaming the teachers for everything, y'all. And it's getting crazy, super getting out of hand. I saw in one of the stories, and I mean one of the videos where a man was saying that his wife was a teacher in a school where, you know, there was this 4-year old, this kid that was, bullying everybody in the school. Honestly, um, the child was the child was bullying everybody, abusing his or her mates, and it was just literally getting out of hand where they had to report to their parents. And at the end of the day, the parents came out saying that it is the problem of the teachers, that the teachers are the problem. Like, how is the teacher being the problem? How the teachers are the problem? Because it's like the child had to change like 4 teachers, and all of that, and admin wasn't helping either. And I read in the comment section where they were saying that it is the problem of admin. Yeah, literally, admin supposed to do something about this, but it's like at the end of the day, admin does not even care. All they care about is their money, and these teachers are not being paid right. You're not paid well, and if they leave the profession, it's not their fault because they want something better for themselves. They want to make something better for their own lives. And if you're in a toxic environment, you're in somewhere that is not serving you right, baby, honey, of course you want to move. Of course you want to do something better for yourself. Of course you want to move on. Of course you want something better for yourself. Of course. And at the end of the day, it's like choosing your own peace over drama, choosing your own peace over a toxic environment. And everybody wants something good for themselves, you know. And at the end of the day, I feel teachers should, when you get home and all of that, prioritize yourself, love yourself, because you guys are doing a whole lot. Teachers be doing the most right now. They are literally doing the most because everywhere is super crazy right now, and I feel I really feel the pain of teachers. Honestly, I feel for y'all. I'm so proud of teachers all day. Y'all be doing the most. And honestly, being a teacher, it is not an easy profession. It is not easy. You know, in the teaching profession, I am big ups to teachers out there because y'all be doing the most. Honestly, yo, you go to school, you shouting, keep quiet, sit down, do this, do that. It's like there's no discipline, you know. There's literally no discipline, because if there's no form of punishment, at the end of the day the kid knows that these kids know that at the end of the day, if they do anything, they are not going to be punished, because they know that, yeah, it's like punishment is already out of the window. So whatever they do, they are not going to be punished. So zero accountability, they do whatever they want. But then if this child knows that if I do something wrong, I'm gonna be punished, trust me, I feel that most of these things are gonna reduce, you know. They are gonna stop whatever they are doing, they are gonna be respectful, they are gonna teach the teachers, I mean, they're gonna treat the teachers right, because they know that if they do something wrong, they're gonna be punished. And at the end of the day, I feel that parents should come around, they should help teachers, you know. If we come together to help these teachers, I feel it's gonna go a long way. I feel at the end of the day, we are gonna be able to raise responsible adults, and these kids are gonna be responsible, you know, because we coming together to help each other out, you know, would actually help reform these kids, will actually help these kids become better. And the teacher too is gonna feel that, okay, I'm being helped. And if I'm being helped, of course I would also go all out for this child, because the parents are also going all out for me, and they come all the way to the school to find out if this child needs something, because it's like some parents don't even know what their children need at school. They've never been to the school to even check on the kids homework, to even check on if their kids can even read and write, you know. At the end of the day,
when a teacher comes home from work, they don't want to talk, they want silence, and they just want to be by themselves. It's not that they don't love you, it's not that they don't care about you and want to spend time with you, but they've spent all day giving directions, talking, redirecting, being police officers, being social workers, being everything to 25 or more little ones. When they come home, they just want time to find themselves, to breathe again. Please, just give them that time.
if it's like this, please subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and press the thumbs up to like this video. And we have come to the end of today's video. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.